Hello friends, so today we will be discussing the JDK's one of the famous collections named HashMap. So what are the main operations that are there in HashMap? One is the put operation, which is taking one key and a value, and one is the get operation, which is returning the value corresponding to the given key. So it is used for storing key value pairs basically. And today we will talk about the internal structure of the hash map, how it stores data internally, and we will talk about the hash code and equals method. So we'll start with this. Now, if we'll see, the structure of this map will be an array of entries kind of. So we will have some entry array called entries, and default size of this array is 16 if we don't define anything. So now we'll define what is this entry class. So entry class will be, it will have the reference of the key, also it will have the reference of the value, and it will have the pointer to the next entry object. So this is what the structure of hash map is. Now we'll see after drawing the structure how it looks like. So this is the entry array that you have. So this is the entry array of size 16. So this is the first index, and similarly 1, 2, then some indexes, then some 14, right? This is how the structure of this, and now we will see the first index that we will have. This is 0. So this will have again three partitions. One is the key, the value, and the pointer to some next. So in the starting, whenever you initialize a map or you say map m equal to new hash map, so this entry array will be there, but every entry index will be null. So this object will not be there. So this is the when you initialize the hash map. Now we'll see, we'll take a class, say for example class X, and it will have some two methods implemented called hash code and equals. It is returning some boolean, it is returning some int. This is how it is. Now this class X object, we will use these objects of this class as key in the hash map. So for example, I have created two objects of this class, say k1, k2. This class I have already created, and now by using the map object, I am putting data in this map. So for example, I say mp, this is the map object, and I'll say put some. So here I'll represent this. So I'll write it here. Map dot put. Now I'll put k1. This is the object of this class X, and I'll put value as, for example, Sunny, or we'll take v1 as value. Okay, so this k1 v1 I'm putting it. So first of all, what happens when the put method is called? First of all, the hash code method on this k1 object will be called. So this will call the hash code of this class X. Based upon that, it will return some integer value for this key k1. Because they are two different objects, they could return two different values based upon the calculation here. So for k1, it is returning some hash code value. It's some integer value. Now what map does is, in the map there is one hash function is there. So this is internal to the hash map. What it does is, based upon the hash code value of the key, it returns an integer which will be in between 0 and 15. So if we need to implement our own hash map kind of structure, so we can use modulo operation. We say modulo 16. For example, any integer value is there. For example, any integer I will be there. When I say modulo 16, so it will give me a result between 0 and 15, right? So, but hash map has implemented it differently. So we are not going to uh, discuss the details of that hash function, how it is implemented. So, but the purpose of this function is to return a value which will be between 0 and 15. So, now we'll get a value. For example, we get 2 as for this k1, we get a value 2. So now this k1 v1 will be put in here at index 2. So if you have heard people talking about that hash map uses bucket internally, and first of all you need to select the bucket and then you need to put the key value pair. So this bucket is nothing but the entry array. So this is basically the bucket. So it has 16 buckets, and in each bucket you need to put in the things as list. So I'll explain you how this list is being made. So we were putting the value k1 and v1, and we were discussing that this hash map has calculated an index 2 for this k1, okay, based upon the hash code that we are supplying. Okay, so now on this index 2, we'll see the entry is currently null here. So we will put here the k1 v1, and this will point to null. Okay, now suppose we call now mp dot put k2 v2. Okay, now first of all, again the same procedure will happen, that k2, the hash code on the k2 object will be called, so it will return some integer, and based upon that the location of the bucket is being calculated. Okay, now I assume that the location of the bucket will be same as the previous value k1, so it will be 2 again, and now I need to put the values k2 v2 here at bucket location 2. Now we'll see that this is not null and there is already a value over there, so we will check that if k2 and k1 are equal, so we'll call k2 dot equals and pass k1 in that. So again this function equals for this class x is called, because these k1 and k2 are the objects of this class x. Now this equals can return true or false based upon the implementation that you have written over here. If k1 and k2 are equal, then what will happen is this value v2 will come here. So this new value will be replacing the old value v2, and the put method will return the value v1. So if just wanted to tell you about the put method, so put method returns the previous value stored against that key. For example, you are putting, as you are putting here k1 v1, so k1 v1 was previously stored here, and then you are storing k2 v2, but k2 and k1 are equal, for example. So previously against k1 v1 is stored, so when you trying to put k2 v2, then it will return v1, because previously against this key v1 was stored, because k1 and k2 are equal, so against any key v2 is stored, v1 was stored, so v1 is returned. But if we assume that previously it was k1 v1, and now the new key, that is k2 v2, is here, and k2 and k1 are not equal. For example, I say k2 dot equals k1, and it is returning me false. So what it does is, here what we will do is, so k2 v2 will come here and it will start pointing to the, so that k1 v1 will move down, so this will be k1 v1 and it is pointing to null, and this next is pointing to this. So this is the structure that will happen, that will be made after putting k1 v1 and k2 v2, and considering the case that k1 and k2 are not equal. So this is the now we'll see what will happen when somebody calls mp dot get k2 or k1, for example k1. Now we'll see what will happen when the get on the key k1 is called for this map. Now first of all what will happen is, on this k1 hash code method will be called and it will return some hash code value. After that hash maps hash function will be called on top of this hash code to return an index between 0 and 15. So again the index 2 will be returned, and now we will need to search this k1 in this bucket. First of all, now we'll see on this entry one key value pair is there. I mean on this index one entry is there. So we'll compare the entries key with this key. So we'll say k1 dot equals k2. For example, if they are not equal, right? Now we'll say we'll go to the next entry, this object, and then we'll compare k1 dot equals k1. So this is equal. Now after that this value will be returned. So this is how the get method of the hash map works. So now we'll talk about the hash code, why this hash code is being used. So this hash code is used to distribute the keys between this array of buckets. So based upon this hash function, return based upon this hash method return in the hash map, an index between 0 and 15 is returned. That will give you the bucket index. Now what is the significance, I mean what things you need to keep in mind when you make some key as, when you make some class as a key in the hash map. So this class should be immutable, because once you insert some object as a key in this map, okay, and now if you perform some operation on this k2, for example you can say k2 dot set some value in the object k2, based upon this the hash code of this class could change. So for example, you first of all you put this k2 v2 pair and it goes to the second bucket. So here in the, on the second bucket this k2 v2 pair resides. Now if you change this k2 object and set some value in it, based upon that when you say mp dot get for example k2, now this get method again calls hash code on this k2 function. So in between these two things you are saying k2 dot set something. So due to this setting, it could happen that the hash code of this k2 object has got changed. Now if the hash code got changed, so the bucket location might change. So now if the bucket location got changed, so hashmap will not be able to find this k2 object in some other bucket, right? So this is the thing, that is why it is said that whatever key you put in the hash map, that key should be immutable, so that the hash code and equal should remain same for that key. So that's all I wanted to cover in this video, and please share your comments. If you like the video, please like the video and share it with other ones. Thank you so much.